Combat and Soul Calibur and all that. And you see, even in the fighting game community, a lot of people were complaining about things like rollback or community support, tournament support.
Yeah.
You speak up enough, you speak up loud enough, someone will hear. Obviously, Daddy's not home right now, he's still getting that milk, but eventually Daddy's gonna come home and bring that milk home. And Nintendo will pay attention at some point. It's gonna take some time, but if we continue to make sure that message is heard and make them understand what we feel, at some point, things will change, and that's why we got to make sure we stay on that. Obviously, we're all hyped for a lot of the good news and the great matches like we got going on right now, but the way that we continue to keep that message going, much like with the you know, the Pokemon community, and even, you know, excuse me, the Pokemon community, the StanLoona community, but even Pokemon community has got a lot of stuff that they don't have too. You know, if we keep it up, we will get through to them eventually. I definitely want to talk about that more, obviously. It's a great thing that we got to keep talking about. But game number 1 here, we got the rematch of Winners Finals, Lights versus StanLoona.
Yeah, we have a guy in Tri-State who might know a thing or two about the BC community. A little dude by the name of Soul Sir. He's done some things in the past, but either way, this is yeah, this is StanLoona in Lights. You already know, grand finals for DNA.EXE. Best of 5 territory yet again for these two combatants, and a relatively methodically paced match for game number 1. And that's kind of being expected from someone like Lights, who again, who likes to have people play into them. But StanLoona's Rosa not exactly in a rush either.
Yeah, and here's the big difference that's going to come out between these two. You know, Webb was playing the matchup to the best of his ability in the proper ways that he could, but the thing with the way Lights is like completely willing to play at full range and play to the clock, because that's what you have to do against that playstyle sometimes. You have to chill back, you have to hang back and be that annoying thorn in somebody's side that ZSS can be. And if StanLoona can replicate the success that we saw out of that last match, we're looking for a great set here. But I think that a big difference here is going to be the approach. I loved the option coverage a second ago, trying to go for the star bits into the coverage of that flip kick with up smash in the air, but it just barely missed. And StanLoona definitely has the right options in mind, just Lights is currently holding on to the lead.
Yeah, now as that down air is going to find its mark, StanLoona is able to just kind of sit back and take some punches as well. And even though you're behind, you are far from out of this. You have the means to build this thing back up, and maybe if you catch Lights lacking on the off the edge, you can get something. You can get yourself an early kill. You're kind of counting on that though at the moment, because just as I'm speaking on that, StanLoona is kind of getting battered around like a government mule.
Yeah, honestly. I was about to say something I shouldn't say, but anyways.
Thank you for not.
You know, like, I might slip out later, but even so, just like this is what I was kind of worried about a bit. When you play, you know, you just played against Webb with that playstyle before, and then you play against Lights, who kind of understands your defensive habits in the way that you went about it with the other characters. Like, Palu and Rosa share a very similar archetype in the way that you want to play, just one does it a little bit slower than the other. So you still understand the person's options behind the decision of that defensive character, and that's what Lights is capitalizing on right now, looking for a potential mash out in to try and catch some type of damage. Either way, not going to hit with that down smash, but unfortunately the up smash not going to connect as well on to look for the tech chase. And there you go, finding the gap in that side B to punish. We're looking at a 1-stock game apiece, back down, and now all of a sudden an even game.
Yeah, they are more than content with the position that they are in right now. StanLoona.
Luma's such a cheater.
Build it up. Oh, actually not opting to catch to stall them out with the star bits in that instance. Maybe thinking, there's a solid chance that they were watching that last set that I was playing, so maybe let's go for something else. Instead opting for the F smash, and yeah, you can blame him for that. Either way, you're going to get buried off of the flip kick. Luma potentially saving StanLoona's life in that instance, and that is a big way for the Star Child to make their presence known.
Puppet Masters really do know how to get under your skin, man, and just take control of the whole thing. And good job delaying, waiting to go for that trump at the end there. Not really using it too much. You know, I'm always such a big fan of that option, but in small doses, because you want to have stage control. But if you can get someone off guard with that ledge trump and they're not prepared, they're not going to be able to mash that buffered roll or anything to get out of there. And great delay, especially because you're forced to low recovery too. There's not too much that StanLoona could do other than maybe like throw out an up air and wait for a second. So good job by Lights taking it game one after a pretty convincing set from you know, fighting against Webb with this CSS, and not gonna be able to do it here in game number one. Potentially looking at a switch as we see a character sent over to the right hand side there.
Yeah, and as we're kind of collecting our thoughts on this game number one, and StanLoona maybe needing to reassess their strategy. It didn't really feel like the ZSS in that situation had the game out of their control, and certainly there needs to be something done about that if you're StanLoona. I don't know if that means pushing the initiative a little bit more, or maybe just trying to sit back and see if Lights is going to stick their neck out. I don't know how long that's going to take. You do have 7 minutes. I'm not really sure how keen StanLoona is on the prospect of using all 7 of them, but
I think that they're mentally prepared for it. We saw it a bit in that first game. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised about this one too. We're definitely going to talk about this. We saw it first game against Webb, where they almost went to time. Actually, it was like maybe a minute and 50-ish seconds left. So I think that I think it's there. But StanLoona, you know, sometimes you got to know when you got to you hold them and fold them, and just recognizing that it worked well against Webb to start, but maybe let's switch it up to put it in our back pocket to get a difference here. Unfortunately, landing with those Nehru's loves, with the way that Lights is not really committing to anything there, you could get hit by that up smash or the short hop nair, so you gotta be careful in those situations. If you're StanLoona, who's consistently just throwing out the Nehru love and landing.
Now paralyzer shot. Not going to find its mark. StanLoona doing a decent job of shielding it, and yeah, back air.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I get so hypnotized watching Lights that you just kind of know what's coming, but at the same time, I mean, it's still...
Yeah, I'm digging deep here looking for... there you go. At least it's a little bit damage, but the big thing is, the thing that Zelda is so good at is that Zelda is good against people, especially, like, brawler archetypes with no disjoints or no range. Like, anything that really has to fully commit to an approach, because you have another version of the Puppeteer, you have the Phantom, and you have great anti-air options. Well, as Zelda here against a character like ZSS who can zone break so well, it's hard because your fair is only good if you read ahead of time when the jump's going to come, because you're not going to beat ZSS's fair, and you also have to put out big committal long-lasting hitboxes like a short hop up air to try and punish flip kick. So all in all, this matchup is definitely super rough for Zelda, and I'm not saying, yeah, like, you can only delay so much. I don't really see an option that's going to get out of that situation.
That's a tough way to roll right now, and again, you're getting comboed. The continuation on the up air. If you're StanLoona, you really have to go back to the drawing board at this point. That dash attack, Phantom Sentry is going to help just a little bit, maybe dictate how Lights is going to recover, but you're not really getting a whole lot of anything on from your offensive gambits right now, unless it's on roll, unless it's on reads like that, excuse me.
Yeah, and I actually like that. Like, I like the game plan is there. Like, you go for the fire to try and go for the high recovery. You get the landing option afterwards. Like, the track control ideas are there. It's not like StanLoona doesn't understand that where he wants Lights to go. The problem is ZSS doesn't normally have to respect that, and you just, all right, good job holding down at that up E not to snap the ledge, because you were getting destroyed by that flip kick. So good job baiting that out. But you're looking at 105% now. You have to literally cheat stocks away at this point, and that's a heavy committal dash attack onto that shield, and Lights can just go all the way with you, all the way down after you blow that air dodge. That's a game number 2 going to Lights. You know, I'm all for experimenting. Unfortunately, that one failed a little bit, just to say it up front. So I think we're probably going to see a switch, in my opinion, to the Bayo. I think the Bayo is the cleanest of them when we saw Winners Finals for StanLoona versus Lights ZSS.
I'd be inclined to agree, and StanLoona is more than capable of taking a fight to Lights, but just not seeing it right there, that matchup maybe not showing everything that StanLoona is able to do against this ZSS. Yeah, the Zelda, it just feels like they dictate so much of what happens on the stage, and that's kind of their deal, is that they are meant to control everything going horizontally. Well, ZSS does a lot of things vertically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the play that you have in mind. StanLoona disagreeing, evidently, maybe just trying to get some matchup experience, but Lights is one game away from taking home DNA.EXE Season 8, Week 11, as we are going right back to PS2 for this game number 3, potentially decisive one, AJ.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, in this matchup, really, just when you look at that playbook, the defensive line ain't there. Like, you just don't, that Phantom doesn't have it against the ZSS the way you want it. Obviously, I mean, some good calls right here, some good preemptive calls to catch the landings, and I'm hoping that I see a difference, but it's just so hard to shut down. However, I'm completely okay with all the changes. I'm one to shit on some things when I look at something that looks really bad, because I like to be honest so people learn. But the way that StanLoona is starting to change this first stock, can it be replicated throughout the match is what matters. Continuing to put that pressure on is full, and you're already seeing after Lights took all that damage, Lights is not playing around with that anymore, decided to go for a more full range game and go back to what was working in those other stocks. However, this should be a solid punish. They're actually gonna miss. Instead, looking to cover the flip kick with a short hop up air, but Lights' defense just still on point, able to find its way back into center stage.
Well, I mean, Lights is if you're going to be a relatively defensive player, then you have to have some pretty decent DI as well. Certainly, your SDI is going to need to be as effective as any other part of your game. The ability to get out of combos, the ability to avoid, generally speaking, anything that you're... Oh, that is just a rough way to lose a stock.
Hey, you know, you take that one to the bank every time you can get it, man. Like, at 45% with a stock up right now, too, all of a sudden, this is where Zelda can shine in the normal play style. Putting out a bunch of, like, defensive options and walls. And it's something we're already seeing that's a huge difference. Nehru's left has not been used consistently on landing. That was something I was very confused by in the last match. And obviously, you're getting chased down like hell right now. That's just what ZSS does. But it wasn't really capitalized on. And like we saw pointed out in chat a second ago, that flip kick can just go over Phantom, and Lights has got the idea behind it. But it seems like StanLoona is kind of figuring a bit out here, and I like being proven wrong. So if we continue to see this, you know, I'm with the change.
Well, I mean, this is kind of what we've seen from StanLoona in the past. This is why they are so effective in Wi-Fi tournaments. Whenever they do this good little get back off of the Pharaoh's Wind, trying to get DSS again into a disadvantageous position, sent them flying with 86 percentage points. And now StanLoona, even though they are again in disadvantage, that hitbox on up air sure is something. I believe we talked about this just a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this is 2 stocks to 1. StanLoona is more than happy with their position right now. If they are to make a comeback, it needs to start right here. And certainly what they do on the follow-up here is going to be crucial, like not having any of it, Ajax.
I love the idea behind trying to go for that throw into reset down there on the platform from StanLoona a second ago. Like, the aggressive play style of this Zelda all of a sudden switch up has been so good. It's kind of like what we were impressed by with the games against Webb with the Rosa. You know, Rosa's so good on a defensive nature, but StanLoona was putting out a lot of preemptive hitboxes and playing aggressive when necessary to capitalize. And it's working here against Lights too. So I'm really liking the switch up. It's really just kind of making a big difference. These up Bs have been getting away with a lot of hits, so that's huge. And the option coverage right there. Good job from Lights as well, holding their ground and staying on the ledge and not jumping into either one of those.
Oh, the paralyzer shot is going to cancel out the Phantom Sentry, and that boost kick is going to cancel out that second stock as StanLoona is being taken to their tournament stock. All the credit in the world to Lights. They could have thrown this thing away, but they are not giving up on it. They want the clean 3-0. They don't want to let StanLoona adapt by any stretch of the imagination. Finally, that Nehru's Love comes out, and it's proven to be effective, Ajax. That's what happens when you don't just spam the thing.
Yeah, really just keep up that pressure, keep up that aggressive style, really, that we're seeing so far here. Out, and there you go, get a catch with the Phantom and actually close it out. So, like I said, I am completely, I'll hold all L's. I'm glad with it. I like seeing it. I thought that this was a terrible idea in the last game, and then StanLoona figured something out, understood how to change it up, and made us recognize why the pick was chosen in the first place. StanLoona's pressure game, the usage of Phantom, and the capitalizations off of weird situations like that, able to close out stocks when necessary. So we're gonna see game number 4.
Yeah, this Zelda doing what very few, I believe, in the world can do, taking a game off of the ZSS of Lights, and that is not something that you really say lightly. Catching Lights overextending just a little bit, and standing still at the exact wrong time if you're Lights. I feel like this is a game that you can afford to give up, so you're not really hurting on it. But maybe standing and trying to aim your big paralyzer gun in the way of the gigantic sentry with the sword that is literally taller than 2 of you put together.
I don't know, man. ZSS has got some height. You gotta fit into that suit, man.
That's how big the sword is, Ajax.
True.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
The Dark Nuts are really like they are way out of proportion compared to what they look like normally in the games. Excuse me, Phantoms, not Dark Nuts. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I definitely said that. I'll hold that L. But anyways, we're gonna see the switch over to the man of the hour. I'm just kidding. The man who's annoyed from the hour because he can't get away from Sephiroth, Cloud.
Oh man, you want to talk about making things memories. This is Lights trying to make a memory of this Zelda. We might just be saying, oh my gosh. See, that's what the trailer should have been. It should have been just like Zelda, kind of in Fountain of Dreams, and then you just see the sword descending in from above. But
that happened.
I'm just saying. Either way,
I was so mad. It's like, no, Aerith, not again. we can't keep doing this.
It doesn't get any easier in HD, man. It really doesn't. But either way, this is Lights switching over to Cloud. Now we have seen this Cloud in bracket, and they have put in work. They are not bad with this character by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, have picked up some pretty impressive wins with it, both at DNA and outside of it. But StanLoona trying to make quick work of this. I'm not sure if you can call this a secondary or even a tertiary character of Lights, to be completely honest. But
I don't even know what his true secondary is at this point. Like, Lights just has so many characters, and just
it's very well say the same about StanLoona, to be completely fair.
True. We've seen a plethora from both of them, and I like the idea of going for the early shot, just because, you know, StanLoona was hanging out, waiting a while. Normally, you want to hold on to that limit, but StanLoona is super defensive when necessary, so you're probably not going to find an opportunity to capitalize on that there. Either way, though, this has been working very well. StanLoona trying to catch that recovery. That's really where Zelda can force this matchup in a weird spot. Going for that Phantom off stage, the fire, the Djinn fire, and just being able to put that pressure on and getting a really odd reversal there from Nehru's Love. But so that's gonna end up working out for StanLoona here.
Yeah, and now as they're trying to reestablish themselves in this game, Lights again down to stock. StanLoona, though, at a very possible kill percent, as that giant sword to the face is kindly demonstrating. StanLoona trying to get back into the stage. Oh man, sticking your head out and recovering at about chest height is going to prove to be troublesome, especially if Cloud is able to build up a limit. Somehow not dying from that. Looking for a reflection, perhaps, on the limit blade beam. And I kind of wonder if perhaps finishing touch would have been the play there. Back air is going to take the stock, Ajax. And not a moment too soon if you're Lights, because you do not want the chance to let this Zelda build up any fashion of momentum. But either way, this is Lights right now. You have to think that they're still in the driver's seat. Even the scoreboard is reflecting as such right now. But yeah, you're still up 2 games to 1. You're kind of trying to make StanLoona think that maybe the win on your ZSS was a fluke. Not saying that it was. I'm saying that's what you're trying to make them think. And
right now, what I'm looking at
now, your back is literally up against the wall. You're playing from behind. What is the strategy here?
Right now, the thing that I'm looking at the most is the punish capitalization. If you looked at the way that Lights was able to get the up smash there just a second ago, but Lights has been capitalizing on damage that isn't true, just like getting the right reads, going for the back air and then waiting for the proper positioning to go for dash attack, getting a lot of follow-ups in positions that have annoyed Stan, and that's really what you want to do the most. If you could get under somebody's skin with these these things that aren't real, that's the best way to do it. And you've seen now, look at the huge difference. StanLoona had such a nice, comfortable back and forth game with Lights before, but because ever since Lights started really putting a hand on StanLoona in that last stock, now all of a sudden the damage has been getting out of hand, and that is a quick way to lose a game against someone like Cloud. And there it is, Lights is going to take that game and continue to put on a tear consistently in these online weeklies, taking another one in this DNA victory.
Yeah, and again, just dropping in from the skies with the sword. I know we alluded to it earlier, but that is an ironic way for Cloud to finish this tournament up today. But either way, that is it. Lights taking this tournament 3-1. I did not think that we would be seeing the appearance of the Cloud, but again, with Lights going Palu pretty much this entire bracket, only breaking out the ZSS for these best of fives. The Cloud was bound to come out. Might as well warm them up and just send them out to close out the game. A quick 1-2-3 inning for the Cloud, and that's going to be all she wrote for this particular tournament. Lights taking home yet another DNA.EXE by the score of 3-1. Crystallodian was on production this entire night. Follow them on Twitter at Crystallodian, and of course Master Hand Gaming on Twitter at Master Hand Games. Ajax, tell the good people what you've got going on.
Oh, of course, we got everything going on with these weeklies like we were talking about before. Obviously, I'm super hyped for, Sephiroth coming through. I cannot believe that. I appreciate the comments in chat, by the way, for us. Thank you so much. Also want clarification before we head out. Is it Connor? Is it Con? Is it Con? Which one is it? Because I saw that StanLoona actually goes by a different name. So I just want to get some clarification on that too. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. I've been working like a madman this past month or so. So I was a little bit busy, couldn't really find my way on the mic, but of course appreciate Chris reaching out, and just so happened to be very lucky that we was on a night. Not only did I get to talk with you again, Stu, because it's been a while, but we also get to talk a little bit about Sephiroth, and continuing to remind everybody that even though we're all excited, I'm dumb excited for Sephiroth, we cannot forget that we need to continue to push, because if we want change, you have to use your voice. We've said it with many other things before, and it's the same here. You got to speak up, otherwise people won't listen. I'm glad about coming through tonight. I had a blast. Make sure you guys continue to check out DNA every single week.
Absolutely. We live right here on twitch.tv/masterhandgaming. We are not the only tournament in the host of events that Collision Series brings us on weekly basis, really, and not just weekly but also monthly. Just a whole bevy of things going on. I'm gonna ask Crystallodian real fast one time. Hit him with the ad slides. You already know Hit Point is happening again this month, December 18th. Free entry and $1,000 tournament. I better believe that I might be seeing Lights in that thing. You never know, though. Hosted, of course, by Hit Point. Shoutouts to Rick Bowles, an absolute G, and Community Gaming for organizing the thing. It is powered by Facebook Gaming. Check it out on Facebook. The link is going to be in the chat. And of course, Galaxy Gambit, it's happening this coming Friday at 8. And yeah, going to be on tomorrow. It's going to be super fun. I think I'm going to be on commentary on the Collision Series channel, but it's also going to be hosted on the Buzz's channel. 2 streams, all the hype, every single Friday, and it begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I will also be on that as well, so I'll be joining up with you on that. I'm pretty excited to see that, and of course, it's going to be a good time tomorrow. There's also the game for Tots that's happening this Saturday. Make sure you guys check that out. I don't know if that's included in these two, but I'm always down for charity events like I saw you guys talk about before with the Hit Point thing. That was a great thing that we did recently. So I hope to see that in the future again. But It's been real in a great way that we constantly get to have the support. Of course, it's UEF.GG. The reason why we get to continue to do this and get support is because of UEF coming through, you know, sponsoring the stream, helping to support the casters and you know, everybody behind the scenes. I talk about it every single time, but really follow the follow the streamers, follow the TOs, follow everybody, and tell them every once in a while how much you appreciate them, because the most thankless job in the esports industry, whether it be grassroots or at the top end, is the TOs and the people behind the scenes who let us get to be stupid every single week, get on the games, and have a good time. So make sure you show some support, and that support comes through, of course, for us through UEF.GG.
Exactly, and the fact that they provide so many opportunities for grassroots esports scenes can't be understated. Folks, shout outs to our good friends over in the BAE. You already know Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, stand up. Your boys are being represented because they are back. No Pause Tournaments presents Vacation Online. It's a free online Super Smash Bros. Ultimate weekly $100 guaranteed pot bonus, 2 streams, both on No Pause Tournaments and also Lyric of Wisdoms. Shout outs to Emily, she's that bitch. North American region lock, and of course, you better believe all the 80s aesthetic vibe and hype that you could possibly imagine. You want to know more? Smash.gg/BAEO for more information. It starts December 15th, 2020. And yeah, I'm super excited to be part of the inaugural broadcast of that, the return of our good friends over at No Pause Tournaments. It's going to be super cool. But folks, yeah, once again, I want to thank you all for watching. And no matter what your stance is on everything that's going on in the gaming world, I beg you, do something nice for a stranger today, because the world could use a lot more kindness. We've got a lot more in common than we do different. It's about time our actions started reflecting that. So 100%. Save Smash, be cool, and wherever you are, stay fresh. Happy smashing, everyone. Good night.